Hey, this is Leon Poe, man. You listening to Causeway Street Podcast.
What's up, y'all? This is Kenny Anderson. Y'all listen to the Causeway Street Podcast.
For all you new listeners out there, I'm your host, Josue Pavone. I'm joined as usual by my two co-hosts.
I'm Sean Dutra. What's up? So
Yeah,
like
talk
long
about
walks
yourself.
on the bee.
There you go. Joel Pavone. What up?
I'm a Pisces. The most romantic.
It leads off with that.
The most romantic sign in all of the zodiac.
Oh,
If you couldn't tell by my voice already,
oh,
Sexy.
but I'm the producer of this ensemble that we call Causeway Street. In case you missed it,
Hey, Bill Walton here, Celtics 1986. You're listening to the Causeway Street Podcast. Yeah, come here for nothing but the truth. This is where dreams come true. Thank you, Boston, for my life.
where are we going?
You guys are such homers.
It's your boy Terry Rozier. You're listening to the Causeway Street Podcast. Now listen to my boys Joe, Sway, Joel, and Sean.
All right, welcome back into another edition of your favorite Celtics podcast, of course, the Causeway Street Podcast. As usual, I am Joseph Pavone, Mr. Sean Dutra.
What's up?
Joel Pavone.
what up?
A lot to talk about in this episode, of course. I mean, the Celtics are still owners of the best record in the NBA. However, they got me thinking that they could have another competing team to deal with in the Eastern Conference. Sean, bite your tongue. Let me finish, okay? Because
All right.
the Detroit Pistons
All right.
certainly made a statement Monday night at TD Garden. We'll get into that. Also, we'll get into what Marcus Smart did that night. And got us thinking, is Marcus Smart going to actually turn this thing around? Or is that just a one-game thing? But we can't ignore the fact the guy went 6 for 9 from behind the arc. It's not the first time he's done that, but it's like the third or fourth in his entire career. So we shouldn't get too excited about it. We're going to talk about if it could potentially be a turning point. And finally, and I want to start with this, what happened in that second half, especially in the fourth quarter? I mean, we're talking about Kyrie Irving having a tough time against a guy that we're all familiar with, of course. Someone who I think easily is the best on-ball defender, especially when we're talking about Kyrie Irving. That is Avery Bradley. He had a little bit of a trouble. He was struggling a bit, okay, in that fourth quarter specifically. So it got me thinking. You know, we talked about this briefly before the show, before we started recording. Who's going to be that guy to step up in those situations? Fourth quarter, Kyrie's not feeling it. You need some offense. Who is that guy?
Well, Marcus Smart, right?
It could be.
Wrong.
I mean, I think this is probably everyone wants to focus in on the bench. Everyone wants to focus in on, you know, your big man of what the problem is with this team or what the Achilles heel is. I think that's the question: is who is going to step up when Kyrie isn't on? Because we saw against Detroit and we saw against Miami lulls. Like it seemed like
Both winnable games.
both winnable games, but Kyrie wasn't on. And if Kyrie's not on, you start to get that feeling of, did the Celtics have a chance if Kyrie's not playing his best basketball?
Well, one part of this equation is, of course, the fact that there's so many guys that have the potential to go off.
Right.
That's a good thing in certain aspects, but at the same time, though, I feel like a lot of other teams, the majority of teams in the NBA, they sort of had that designated guy.
Right.
That
Yeah.
designated guy for this team, he's not coming back anytime soon. Gordon Hayward is out of the picture.
Right.
So with that being said, we don't know who that person is, but for the most part, I feel like this is a team that needs to have that scenario figured out. You know what I mean?
Well, I think you have to.
So who is it though?
It's Jaylen Brown. I think it's gonna be Jaylen Brown. In my opinion, fourth quarter guy I want shooting the ball, I think to this point has been Jason Tatum. But I think Jaylen Brown, this is the last part of his game that needs to, last time we talked about, is Jaylen Brown on that verge of being a superstar? I think that last hurdle is saying, I got you, Kyrie. Like, you're not on tonight. I'm going to take this game over and be consistent on that. Like, you look at the dynamic duos in the NBA, right? You got a John Wall and Bradley Beal, even in the Eastern Conference. John Wall, Bradley Beal. Those dudes are picking each other up when the other guy's having a bad game. LeBron, not so much on that squad, but Kevin Love will put in. If LeBron's having a bad game, it used to be Kyrie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Lowry and
DeMar DeRozan,
DeMar
right?
DeRozan, yeah.
They have that second legitimate guy that night in and night out is going to be an offensive threat. Now, Jaylen Brown could be that guy, but until he fully comes out of, development, right? Whatever he's in right now, the stage where he's having a great game, then he's having an all right game, and a great game, and an all right game. That's the biggest question on the Celtics team. Well, and that's the Achilles heel of the Celtics team right now.
Well, in the case of the Miami game, I felt like there's been too many times this season where the Celtics has spent so much energy trying to come back from these double-digit advantages.
It's their MO, baby.
Yeah. It's been their MO, but then that takes a toll after a while. Yeah. And, they tied the game in Miami, and then that lucky Dion Waiters shot from the top of the backboard to go in. I felt like that just like that.
Well, look, that's a topic for a different day.
No, I'm just saying.
That was some bullshit. That was some bullshit.
No, but I mean, I felt like after that, it took the wind out of their sails, right? So then, fast forward to against Detroit, turnovers.
Yeah,
turnovers were huge. That's the reason why I didn't win that game.
Sure.
And it was, again, both winnable games, especially down the stretch. And especially in the Detroit game, it was a seesaw back and forth.
I had a big problem with the way they ended that Detroit game. Big problem, and I think that comes back down to
that goes back to the backcourt.
The question, right?
That goes back to the backcourt, right?
That goes back to the question
because Smart was feeling it. Brad Stevens went more with Smart than Jaylen Brown towards the end of that game.
Sure,
but Kyrie Irving, he tried to maybe do a little too much. Maybe try to get more of his teammates involved. Did end up with 9 assists, but he just was off.
All right, well, here's my problem with the whole Jaylen Brown thing, because I feel like Jaylen Brown can give you that type of offense when you need it in those situations, but is he really a guy who can, off the dribble, ISO, knock down shots for you? Because I don't think he is. He's sort of the guy who comes off of curls, can hit those jump shots mid-range. He can, backdoor screens, can finish strong, obviously, in the baseline. But for the most part, he's not the type of guy where it's like, clear the way, I'm going to go do my thing right now, right?
I feel like Tatum is more of that than Brown.
I think Jaylen Brown can get to the line whenever he wants. Once he starts getting those calls, he can legitimately, if he's not turning the ball over as he's driving, right?
You just said it once he starts to get those calls. He doesn't always get those calls.
No, that's the thing. But I think he has that mentality that he can. I think the problem is that he's still a little timid to say, Kyrie, you've turned the ball over the past five possessions. I'm going to take the ball. Give me the ball. You know what I mean? He's not demanding that ball. The Celtics don't have that guy that is going to say, it's a 7-point. We're down by 7 points. Kyrie's been playing like crap. It's the start of the fourth quarter. Okay, Jaylen Brown's going to take over, or Jason Tatum's going to take over, or we're looking to one player we're saying, all right, Kyrie's off today. Let's go. Like last year, right? Even though it's at a much smaller scale, if Isaiah was off, you sort of had the same problem, right? You didn't have that second guy to come in. You had Avery. But Avery was sort of the same type of player that Jaylen Brown is right now.
But this team doesn't, I was going to say, this team doesn't necessarily have an Avery. Doesn't have that knockdown guy.
Sure.
Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, they are knockdown guys.
Well, I was going to say,
but during the stretch,
I'm not sure. I don't know if knockdown guy is the right way to put it. I don't think Jaylen Brown is the type of player where you put you set up a play at the end of the game, he's going to knock down that three the way Avery Bradley used to do. Avery Bradley won a couple of games because of those buzzer-beating shots that he used to do.
This stretch from when they lost since from the Miami game to the Detroit game, I feel like both Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are up and down. They weren't like consistent like as during the 16 game.
That's I think where we're coming. We're all piling on the fact is Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are 19 and 21-year-old
players,
right? So it's very hard to count on them to be consistent.
So if Kyrie's not feeling it, they're screwed.
They do not have a player that's a veteran in the NBA. God love Al Horford. He's not the guy.
Yeah, you just completely took my that's what I was gonna say. Why hasn't Al Horford's name even been brought up in this conversation?
He's just not that guy. He's just not. He's not. I mean, he can be maybe once in a while. I mean, but he does everything else.
On that road trip, though, I mean, he was that guy, right? He was the guy who went off in that third quarter, on the road.
This is
against the Pacers.
Right, sure. But like, is that a thing that you can count on?
But
No.
why not though?
I don't think so. I
But
just don't think it's
well, this is
track
my
record
question
just
though.
shows it.
Is that a question
Against Orlando too, he was doing his thing.
Well, let me present this though. Is that a question of Brad Stevens not trying to set him up in those stretches in that fourth quarter?
I think it's really
those
hard.
crucial situations
I think it's really hard to have.
because he disappeared against the Pistons. I'll say that.
Well, no,
Well, you
yeah,
brought
he had
up-
a bad game. He had a bad game against the Pistons. I think overall, Al Horford does enough around other than scoring to make his worth on the team very valuable, right? But I'm saying scoring wise, because all we're talking about is scoring wise. Because if Kyrie's having an off night shooting, the rest of the team can still be playing great, which is one of the reasons why they're the best defensive teams in the league. They can play defense fine on the offensive end. Who is that number 2 guy? And I don't think it's Al. I think it's too early to give those reins to Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. So then,
I think
Who
I
is
think you
it?
fill that role by committee. Like it just whatever.
so that
Whoever that night is feeling it.
and I think that
I think
could be.
Brad Stevens would agree with that.
I think that could be a problem. That's all I'm trying to
Yeah.
say. I think that
It wasn't
could be
it wasn't
a
a problem during the streak, but now we're seeing like these little
Well, no, and I think that's
little
it.
like knickknacks.
I think we saw what it could be by committee. By committee, if everything's rolling and Jalen's shooting and Jason's shooting and Al's offensive rebounding
ball
and
is-
putting
when
in,
the ball is
and then
moving.
Marcus hits his first shot of the game in the fourth quarter, whatever. Like
when the ball is moving and the
Yeah.
Celtics have like 20 plus assists as a team, it's all good.
Right.
Even if they lose, they're not going to lose like the way they did against Detroit.
Obviously, we're nitpicking. The Celtics have the best record in the NBA. This isn't to say that this is going to hurt the Celtics so much that they can't recover from it.
No,
I'm
you're
just
right.
saying it is probably one of their major flaws right now.
It's something to think about because you have Detroit and
Right.
you have Cleveland now knocking on the door.
Let's pause on Detroit. Let's pause. Let's pause on Detroit.
I'm not trying to hear anything.
I don't
I'm
know,
not
bro.
trying to hear anything about
I don't
Detroit.
know.
All right, I'm not
I
trying to
don't
hear anything about Detroit.
All right.
I mean,
B minus team. They're a
winning
B
streak
minus team.
They're a winning streak away from tying the Celtics.
They are
okay?
a 41 win team.
All right. Sean doesn't
All
want to
right.
believe it, but you know what?
500.
We'll wait till 2018 till after the new year to see where they're at in
Fine.
terms of the NBA standing. Because they're right there
My Dallas
on
Mavericks,
paper and on
not looking good.
and the eye test. I think they're right there. That's what I think.
Yeah.
2 more wins. 2 more wins they need. The Dallas
One, actually,
Mavericks.
one. They won. They won again. They're at 5 wins. They're
That's why I know, but you said that it wouldn't.
Oh
win
yeah,
any more than
I got
6.
6. I got
Yeah,
6.
so I said 2
Well,
more.
we'll get into more of that later. But this opening segment is of course, brought to you by MyBookie. Head over to www.mybookie.ag. Make sure you use the promo code Causeway, and MyBookie will match your
yeah.
first deposit with a 50% bonus. That's right. If you join with $100, you'll get an extra $50 to play with. Head over to mybookie.ag. Use the promo code Causeway, or you can actually call 844-900-BETS. That's 844-900-BETS. Play, win, and get paid with mybookie.ag.
$100 is child's play, so go in and go make that. Go make that bet. Go make that
Sean,
bet.
you would say that.
Says the
make that
gambler.
Yeah, you would say that.
Mr. Kenny Rogers.
Hey, you
over here.
you give me $50 if I put down 100. I'm in. I'm in every time.
Okay, so joining us now is our boy Zach Peliquin. We haven't talked to him for a while, but I felt like it was appropriate to get him on here
Mr.
because
Piston.
of Mr. Pistons, Mr.
D-Town.
He called this. Look, I'll be the first one to admit that I thought the Pistons would be good. I didn't think they would be this good, so of course it was only appropriate to get Zach on the phone with us. What's up, Zach? What's going on, man?
Not too much, gentlemen. My weekly update. I guess we can do it live. The Pistons are still pretty good.
So do you have like the Tobias Harris jersey going? You got
He's
Jackson?
rocking the Ish Smith jersey.
Yeah, Christmas is coming up soon, so I'm thinking Henry Ellenson maybe.
That's for the diehard Pistons fans. You know what I mean? Get one of those guys off the bench.
Galloway too.
Zach, let me ask you
Yeah,
this though:
yeah.
how good is this team though? Because I'm starting to think, I don't know, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'm starting to think that this team could be not only a top 4 team in the East, but I think this is a team that matches up very well against the Celtics. What are your thoughts about what happened Monday night?
I think you're 100% right. This is a team that they've got they're pretty solid all the way through the lineup. I mean, you take a look, you got a guy on the wing with Tobias Harris who can knock down the three. I think he's kind of underrated. I know we give him a lot of a lot of junk, but I mean, he's a pretty solid player. The guy that the Celtics were looking at a year or two ago when he
he's
was
a B
on the free
minus.
agent market.
He's a B minus.
He's a B minus. Yeah, he's not quite an all-star, but
He's an
you know,
A
solid player.
against the Celtics, though. He's an A.
B minus.
Well, that's the
Yeah,
thing, though.
exactly.
I'm glad you bring him up because that's my thing about this team. I feel like this team doesn't have a closer, and I feel like he has to be that guy. And I'm not quite sure. I'm ready to say that he can eventually turn into that guy who can close out a game.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. I think if anyone, I would probably give that title to Reggie Jackson, just because I think he's the most pure scorer that they have. But here's the thing. I like that roster, and I like it for two reasons. One, because I think when you look at this group of players, it's one of those underrated scrappy teams, almost like the Celtics were the last couple of years. Where, it doesn't have the closer, it doesn't have the marquee names, but you got a bunch of guys who have their head in the same place and all seem to like playing with each other for some reason or another. Number two, doesn't this team remind you a little bit of the good Orlando teams that Stan Van Gundy had out in Orlando a little bit?
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking about.
Yeah,
it's like
point.
all of a sudden Andre Drummond is like their
shit.
Dwight.
Yeah, he's Dwight Howard
And-
part two, right?
Yeah.
Tobias Harris is Turkalug.
Yes, that's accurate.
Yep.
Yes, and hey, that team went to the finals. Not to say that this team's gonna go to the finals,
No.
but
No.
Listen.
But the formula is there for Stan Van Gundy to bring this team farther than we could have expected.
I will give you this. This team would be a great team if it was 2007. This team is not fit for today's NBA.
Why?
Okay?
Because they're not a super team, Sean?
No,
That it?
no. Listen.
The Celtics weren't a super team a couple years ago.
I don't.
And they went to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Listen.
Why? Because there's no clear-cut all-star? Is that what it is?
No, Andre Drummond is a clear-cut all-star.
No, they have all stars.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
They are.
As long as you admit that.
I just hate it. Like I heard. So Zach, you said at the beginning of the year, I'm going to give you props for it because they've started the year pretty well. They
those
will
props.
level off though. I 1,000% bet. I will put money on it.
That's a high
45 games is the max that this team is going to win. And it'll be a great season for them.
Yeah, but Sean, 45
A
games
great
for a team in the
Okay.
East.
You say 45 wins,
That's
right?
not too bad.
Okay.
Actually,
Hold
I
on,
didn't mean
listen, hold on,
45.
hold on,
I mean
hold on.
40. I mean,
I mean, yeah, because you said 38 to 40
that's what I meant.
on that night,
they're
right?
a 500 team now.
All right, so listen.
They're a 500 team
All
now.
right, so
yeah.
you say between 38 to 40, right? You say 40 at the max. When the Celtics lost their first two games of the season,
Yeah.
you said 45 wins for them as well.
I was a little depressed at that time, man. All right?
Okay.
All right?
But seeing what you saw on Monday,
I synced it.
you synced it, right? The way that they match up with the Celtics, just the Celtics. Forget the rest of the
Okay,
East.
okay.
Forget the rest of the NBA.
All right.
Just the Celtics. 3 guys scoring over 20 points against the best defensive team in the league right now.
Fair. This is the problem though. Is the Celtics played like doo-doo. All right?
Did they though?
The
Did they?
Celtics
Or just
played
Kyrie Irving?
like shit. Yeah. Which is
Just Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie Irving is the heartbeat of the Celtics. Kyrie Irving did not have a good game.
Kyrie Irving and
Al
Marcus
Horford
Smart decided to switch
Al Horford
positions.
had
that
a
day.
bad game. So your two best players had a really bad game. They couldn't defend. Jaylen Brown
But it was still winnable, though.
was Jaylen Brown really a factor in that game?
Not so much.
No,
You-
right.
You could say
The
Jason
Celtics
Tatum
didn't play a great
to
game.
a certain capacity. You could say Jason Tatum. I feel like he found his rhythm, especially in that second half. But yeah, okay, Jalen was off, but the game was within reach, well within reach.
this
those
is
last
my
two
problem.
And not
And-
only have the Pistons beat the Celtics, they've already beaten the Warriors. They've beaten the Raptors. Like these are not like under the radar teams.
I just think this is that when it comes down to it, if you're gonna try to say like my biggest problem is people now saying, "Whoa, this Pistons team's legit." It's like
Gotta love Sean's announcer voice.
Yo, relax on that shit. Once Mike Gorman said on the broadcast, he said it very like passe. He goes, "Man, this team's pretty good, huh, Tommy?" And I was just like, "Oh shit." Now, what? Ready for this fucking firestorm? Everyone's like, "Whoa, this Pistons team's gonna be great. They could contend with the Celtics. They may even be a top 3 team in the East." They're not. They're gonna be a top 5 to 6 team. They have a B minus. Tobias Harris is B minus. Avery Bradley's B minus. They legitimately rely on Ish Smith and Anthony Tolliver to play meaningful minutes on their squad every single night. This is not a Semi Ojeleye go in and see what you got.
Here's a little nugget for you though. Their bench, top 10 in the NBA. Something to think about. Though.
Okay, yeah. You know what? You want to crown Anthony Tolliver as 6th man of the year? Crown him now.
That's not what I said, but all right.
I'm just saying those two players. There's a reason why those two players have been in the league for about 20 years combined, and
Okay.
they've been on 19 teams.
Okay, but
combined,
considering-
they rely on them as their bench.
Okay, considering the East, how it's been so far,
Fine,
up to this point,
fine.
you can't just sleep on the Pistons.
I'm okay with that. If you want to put
Like
them,
like the
if you
Pacers,
wanna,
the Pacers have tailed off. You know, your
Hold
Sixers are a
Whoa,
500
whoa,
team.
whoa, whoa.
Your
Come on, man.
Sixers.
Hey,
Come on, bro.
Hey.
The Nets are not even in the playoff picture right now.
I'm not
bro.
worried about those teams. I'm saying if the Pistons have not, which is my biggest thing right now, is the Pistons have not cracked that top 4 hierarchy in the Eastern Conference. And a lot of people after that one game they saw,
Yeah, but
because no one, no, wait, hold on,
Who
no
do you,
one.
who do you
It's the
have
second
over them
best-
besides
It's the second
Celtics
best team in the
and
league
Cleveland?
right now.
I'm still,
in the East right now.
I am
Yeah, it's a
still
good question.
taking the Celtics, the Cavs, the Raptors, and I know the Wizards haven't got off to the best
What
start.
about Milwaukee? Milwaukee's not even they're
I'm
below 500 team right now.
I'm taking the Wizards over. So if you want to put Pistons
So what,
5
you
over the
putting-
Bucks,
You putting them at 5?
I don't care. Like at that point, it doesn't matter. You're losing in the first round if you're not on the top 4 team.
Those two teams play each other anyway, so 4
Right,
and 5.
right. So whatever. If you legitimately look at me in the eye right now, and if the Raptors play the Pistons in the first round of the NBA playoffs, who are you taking?
They could take the Pistons.
Yeah.
Guys,
Look,
I didn't lie.
Wait.
I feel
I
you-
told you
I
from
feel you-
day one, from the offseason, that the Raptors had a great opportunity to rebuild on the fly, and the fact that they continue to go with this group is just the wrong route to go.
Yep.
Like this team is just not going to improve. They're going to
I am
continue
not
to go down.
I am not saying
And the
Raptors are
Wizards,
good.
While the
and
other
the
teams in
Wizards,
the
the
Eastern
Wizards
Conference
too.
get
Wizards
better.
that improve. Have they improved?
No, I mean,
Okay, but so I would understand your point more if the Detroit Pistons came in with a shitty record, but they're only 3 games behind the Celtics now.
fine. They've had a good start to the year. I just don't see.
Right.
You can look at the Celtics and say they have a legitimate superstar in Kyrie Irving. They have a supporting cast. They have one of the best coaches in the league. They have a secondary star that's Al Horford that's playing have a great season. You look at the Pistons and you say they're a very much improved team from last year, but they're not a top team in the East. I'm sick and tired of that
I
argument.
mean, you
All
could
right,
throw
let me-
you could throw it in the conversation.
All right, let me reel Zach back in here. So Zach, of course, Avery Bradley was obviously the big topic heading into this game. It's the first game back in Boston. I mean, we saw him not necessarily go off offensively, but we saw him really rattle Kyrie Irving, especially in that second half. I feel like he had a lot to do with Irving not finding his rhythm when they needed it most in that fourth quarter. What's your take on Avery Bradley's game? Do you think that this is a guy who's probably this is my opinion coming in right here. I think he's one of, if not the biggest reason, or actually, no, I definitely think he's the biggest reason. He's the biggest reason why I feel like he's got this
Make up your
group-
mind, bro.
He's got this group completely committed on the defensive end. And I saw that from the backcourt through the front court. I feel like he is the anchor for that defense. What's your take on Avery Bradley and his impact on this team? And how far do you think his impact can bring them in terms of being one of the top teams in the East?
Oh, it's enormous. I mean, this is between Avery Bradley and Marcus Smart the last 2 to 3 years for the Celtics. That's kind of been the identity of the team. Yeah, Isaiah Thomas has been the star player, but at the end of the day, when this team defended on the perimeter, when this team played well, it's when they were able to get up in other teams' faces and able to basically intimidate them. Look at the success that the Celtics have had the last, I think it's now 3 years, when they had Avery Bradley in their backcourt against the Golden State Warriors of the world, against those really good top echelon teams. When those teams had guards that they needed to defend, they put Avery Bradley out there and they had success. And I think that's what you saw the other night there, is that they were able to stick Avery Bradley out there on Kyrie, slow him down, and then Boston's peripheral players had to kind of figure it out from there. And that's where it does get a little bit dicey for Boston. Who is their number 2 guy? If you want to say Jaylen Brown, great. But, has he really earned that crown, with just over, 20 games worth of success as of right now going into this season? So, yeah, I mean, Avery is a huge part of that team for Detroit, and I think he does set that tone. And I think with guys like Andre Drummond, as mentioned, I mean, these guys feed off of him. This is going to be one of those teams where it's going to be the energy that he brings, the defensive energy he brings, and the more the better. And I think the longer he does it, the more it's going to seep into the DNA of what this Pistons team is.
17 turnovers the Celtics committed. 17.
It's not good.
In watching that game, I mean, I will give it to Avery Bradley because watching that game, the last really memory I'll have of Avery Bradley and the Celtics is when Kyrie Irving went off for 46 against him in the Eastern Conference Finals, and he looked like straight dog poop. defensively.
All of a sudden, Sean keeps it clean now. There you go.
Yeah. But I don't know why I paused. And thought
I
about
don't
it.
mind it. It's fine.
But no, seriously. And then he came out and he got his vengeance against Kyrie. I mean, Kyrie looked like crap. Avery Bradley played well defensively. But I will say, the turnovers, I think that was more of the Celtics being sloppy. Because here's my biggest part about that game, too. The Celtics were only down by 6 points with 58 seconds left in the game. Kyrie Irving comes down the floor and jacks a three. We play defense, get the turnover. Marcus Smart comes down the floor and jacks a three. What the fuck was that? Why was Brad Stevens not calling a goddamn play? He didn't. They both missed the threes. This was at the end of the game.
Yeah, when Smart took that three, though, there was like 30 seconds left. You had no choice.
Right. That one I get. But the Kyrie three, he comes down, he's triple teamed over in the corner, and he just does a fadeaway. That was the Kyrie that I think everyone was worried about getting. But Brad Stevens did not take that game over at the end of the game.
Well, that's
on Stevens.
I know. That, and on the other end, that's frustration of fucking being stopped by Avery Bradley throughout the game.
Maybe, yeah. I just think that in my opinion, Avery
He's like, let me get him by surprise and just pop the three.
The Celtics played worse than the Pistons. Celtics did not play up to their strengths that game more than the Pistons forced them to play bad. I think the Celtics just played like crap. Also, I think that Boston Celtics fans and Boston Celtics media love Avery Bradley still, and that blinds them to see all of the flaws that are with this Pistons team. This Pistons team is not good. I love Avery Bradley as well. Avery Bradley is a number 3 on a team, and he's a very valuable number 3, but they don't have a number 1. They don't have a true number 1. Andre Drummond is not a true number 1. You can't be that with the way he plays in today's NBA. And they don't have they're flawed. They're a flawed team. They're not going to be able to make any noise in the playoffs. It's just that's it. That's my opinion of these Pistons.
All right, Zach, let's switch gears a bit. Marcus Smart, of course, I mean, it's been the story of the entire season. I mean, if it wasn't for the winning streak, I feel like he would be catching a lot more flack. But of course, he entered Monday night's game. I was going to say tonight's. He entered Monday night's game not only shooting under 30% from the floor, but he's shooting 25% from the arc. That same guy went off for 6 3-pointers on Monday. He looked like the best 3-point shooter on the floor. Is this something that do you feel like Celtics Nation or the NBA critics have been too harsh on him? Do you think this is something that he can eventually turn around? Or was this just one of those nights where we're just seeing Marcus Smart just come out of nowhere like he's done in the past, and that we shouldn't get too used to seeing maybe not him score 6 3-pointers, but we shouldn't get used to him being so efficient offensively?
Yeah, he's the Jackie Bradley Jr. of the Celtics. He's going to have one good month of shooting every year, and that's basically it.
Jackie Jads, baby. There you go.
But he can field, though. He can field.
He can. Well, and Marcus is an incredible defender who I think kind of sets the tone with his energy.
That's what I meant. Okay.
And yeah, in terms of his shooting, there are mechanical issues in his shots that I think. It's not necessarily that he's a bad shooter, but he rushes his shot, which I think ends up turning him into a bad shooter, if that makes any sense at all.
The type of shots he takes.
No, it makes sense. It's not even just the type of shots, but yeah, his mechanics, sometimes he doesn't really get much lift off the floor.
Yeah, when he speeds up and he's not shooting well, you'll notice, and I mean, you can even watch the tape, the ball goes a longer distance from whether it's his hip or wherever his catch point is to wherever he's shooting it. It takes him longer to get there, which I think in turn is hurting his mechanics. When he's quick, when he catches and he's going straight up to the shot, that's when we're seeing him hit shots. That's when we're seeing him have this type of success. The problem is, I think he expends so much energy and so much mental energy on the floor, defending and really being that energy player that I think offensively, it almost takes him out of a rhythm. You have to think a lot of that energy that he spends on the defensive end, it's eventually going to wear on you.
Well, I mean, I think offensively, he's more dangerous taking it to the hoop. Taking it to the rack,
mentally not totally there on that offensive end,
and maybe Zach's got a point that maybe he's too much energy on the defensive end that he's like I'd rather take a pop a 3 or
settle for one,
or settle
exactly
It's like Game 3 against the Cavaliers in the Eastern Conference Finals, right? What did he make? 7 3-pointers? I don't think he missed.
Mm-hmm. Like it comes out of nowhere. I'm telling you, it's like every 15, 17 games.
You get these things from Smart from time to time offensively, right?
That's the beauty of Marcus Smart. That's why I love Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart, he legitimately will.
That's what you love about him.
But
I love the fact
that the Celtics rarely win when he's like that, though. That's the weird part.
Right, but like, all right. I was thinking about this today. and I don't think it makes a lot of sense, but I'm just going to say it. So I think the reason why the Celtics lose when Marcus Smart goes off is because when Marcus Smart is sort of feeling it, like people want him
It's like
to shoot. You know what I mean?
It's like Kelly Olynyk in the last 3 years, right?
Yeah.
When he was leading the team in scoring, Celtics didn't win.
Right, which makes a lot of sense. If you're one of your worst offensive players is the best offensive player that night, you're probably gonna lose.
It's almost like Kyrie and Marcus switched on Monday night.
Right, but except it's still Marcus Smart. So
Yeah.
But here's my thing: Marcus Smart is I'm not gonna say most valuable, is the heart and soul of this team now. After you lost Avery Bradley, after you've lost Isaiah Thomas and Jay Crowder, Marcus Smart is the life and blood and everything about this Celtics team that makes it still a Brad Stevens Celtics team. Any offense he gives you is gravy. The only thing that bugs me about Marcus Smart is he doesn't have to take as many shots as he takes. If he just didn't take
He was going to shoot.
He has too many 1 for 9, 0 for 11,
I don't
shooting
but
nights.
I don't
just
care. I don't care about that because you know what? That 1 for 9, the one that goes in, is the one that sparks a run,
But
or
what
is the
about-
one that ties a
but
game.
what about the
and
two-
everyone's like, "Whoa, Marcus!" Because when he does it, you're like, "Oh, that's a bad shot, Marcus. Don't fucking hit." Oh, there it is, tie
what-
game, baby.
but what about
that's Marcus Smart game in a nutshell.
It's
he's
no,
gonna
no, no,
turn
no,
the ball
no, no.
over.
Yes.
He's
But what
gonna-
about
he's
the-
gonna-
Great shot.
he's gonna force turnovers. He's gonna make everyone on the other team super frustrated. Everyone's gonna start thinking about, oh, this dude's flopping, this dude's doing that. Gets in their mind. He is just like a perfect player in the NBA outside of offense. If you didn't have to,
But what about
if-
what about when it commits these crazy turnovers too?
I don't even care. It's the same thing. I don't care because you know what?
Like
Who's
back-to-back
the-
turnovers
who's the
in that
first
Detroit
dude-
Pistons game.
Who's the
He-
first
they-
dude back on? Who's the first dude back on defense on any turnover? It's Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart. I don't care. His hustle, his heart, his attitude, his knack to just be in the. Okay, who's the guy that Brad Stevens trusts probably the most on this team in the fourth quarter?
Besides Kyrie, maybe Marcus.
It's Marcus Smart. He knows he's going to put Marcus Smart out there. And you know what? Even if you did goaltend a Kyrie layup at the end of the
Oh my
half,
God.
you're going to come in the fourth quarter and you're going to make some couple plays that are going to put us over the edge. Because he just knows he's a gamer. He's a gamer
it's
and he's going to be
frust-
there
I think-
every
I know.
single time.
I think Marcus is like Sean's new Crowder this year. Jeez.
No, he's always been a Marcus guy.
No, I know, but-
I mean, I thought Marcus was going to get a little better offensively.
Yeah, so did I.
But I'm okay with it. I'm okay
he
with
lost
it.
the weight, and he
I'm
was
still-
shooting lights out in preseason.
I'm still thinking this may be a turning point, but I could be wrong. Could be wrong.
Don't fall for
every
it.
year.
Zach,
there's
is this a turning point?
Every year, there's always a turning
Listen,
point.
Marcus Smart is who Marcus Smart is, and I'm totally cool with that
Averages are averages.
because they
Yeah.
are averages. Hell yeah.
So this isn't a turning point, Zach?
No, I don't think so. I think he's.
All right.
I mean,
All right.
I will.
I'd ask.
I will say this though. If we're going to be talking about averages, Marcus Smart is as bad as an offensive player. Marcus Smart is.
Historically bad.
He's not this bad, so he's due for a nice run of a couple games.
That's
Just
just
tip
it,
the
though.
scale.
It's every year. There's like 2 or 3 points of the season where it's like, could this be it? Could this be the turning point for Marcus
No,
Smart to be
this is what he
a better
is.
offensive
This
player?
is
And
what he is.
so then that's what's going to hurt him when it comes contract time, or when it comes to possibly trading him, because it's like Terry Rozier could be the next guy in line.
I don't. Okay, let's actually ask Zach. Zach, you gotta make a choice long term for the Boston Celtics. Is it Marcus Smart or is it Terry Rozier? Or do you think that they would sign both possibly? I don't think they have a possibility to do that. But
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I personally like Rozier's game a little bit more than Marcus Smart. Like his contract situation a lot better right now.
well, I'm saying
does Danny.
so Marcus is up
But-
after this year. Rozier's up after next year.
Yeah.
Right.
So really, it's 1 year of a difference. You want long term.
Well, if Rozier played the same amount of minutes as Marcus did, we could actually be able to make the decision like right now.
Like, there's a reason
if
why.
Rozier or
Don't you
Smart.
think there's a reason why he's not.
What do you mean there's a reason why he's not?
Because you're not going to play Rozier over Marcus Smart.
Because Smart,
Because
Depending
Smart's
on-
a better
depending on-
player than Rozier.
depending on matchups, Smart is either going to start or he's not going to start.
I'm just
Rozier
saying,
already has his role.
minutes wise.
Smart.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
You said if Rozier would play as many minutes as Marcus Smart,
Right.
but there's a reason why Marcus Smart gets more minutes
All
than
right,
Rozier,
so then
right?
wait till Smart gets injured, and then we'll see Rozier play more minutes.
And then if he Wally pips him, we'll see. Okay,
We'll
back
see.
to you,
We'll
Zach.
see.
Yeah, I think I take Rozier. Not by a lot, though. It's close. It's definitely close.
Rozier is stroking it very well from behind the arc.
It's neck and neck. It's neck and neck.
You really think it's neck and neck?
Maybe he's not neck and neck. I still give the advantage to Smart, but I feel like if we had to pick who has the higher ceiling, I might have to lean towards Rozier. I mean, Marcus Smart has been in his league for quite some time. He's been playing meaningful minutes for quite some time, whereas Rozier is really coming into his own just recently, like right now.
Year 3.
There is two things that I kind of put into my equation too. One is the fact that you picked Marcus Smart 6th overall, and he's a hustle guy. Like, that just pisses me off. I'm sorry.
True. Hey, and you know what though? There's a lot of 6th overall picks that are not hustle guys, and they're probably out of the league at this point, man. You know, like,
oh, true, but like, still, it's like that was the first big pick of this rebuild, and he's been like, okay, well, he's good, but like, I don't know.
So okay, minus them pissing you off. I mean, they did also reach for Rozier.
Yeah, well, the other thing to take into consideration, too, is when you look at the two players, if you want to match them up and say, okay, who do I want long term? The thing that goes through my mind is who plays a role that is more pertinent to this team long term. Because neither one of them are going to be superstars on this team. I think we can agree with that at this point. We know what they are. But who plays a more pertinent role for this team 2 and 3 years down the road? So, Sean, you got a great point there.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
but defensively though, that's the only reason why why Brad Stevens goes to him.
I don't even think it's defensively. I think it's just confidence. If Terry Rozier is not going to out talent Marcus Smart enough.
I'm gonna disagree with you on that.
Enough to make Brad Stevens say, or Danny Ainge say, you know what, Terry Rozier is more valuable for this team. Because remember, right? If you're talking Marcus Smart wants $12 million, and Terry Rozier, you're trying to give Terry Rozier the same thing, $12 million, right? Who is going to be better when? Who's going to make your team better when Hayward comes back? Take those shots away. You're going to get way more out of Marcus Smart being a role player. One of the most valuable role players in the league when the offense isn't needed, than Terry Rozier, who he's a good defender, but he makes big offensive plays. He's good picking up the offense, on that second unit. But I don't know, man. You can't quantify Marcus Smart's value to this team, especially long term when you think Hayward, Kyrie, Tatum, Brown. Those are your offensive players. What you get from Marcus Smart at that point is gravy.
All right, we'll see. Obviously, still got plenty of basketball left. Zach, we appreciate you for coming by. We'll speak again soon.
Sounds good. Always a pleasure, gentlemen.
Bye.
Man, I love the fact that Zach didn't go the Sean Dutra route there. You know what I mean? Like if the tables were turned, Sean Dutra would have been.
I'd have been all over the Pistons.
You would have been going all over him.
World champions.
He took the high road there, but you know what? The jury's still out, I guess, according to Sean Dutra. And,
it is.
With that being said, let's get to your segment. Let's look ahead. Let's see who the Celtics have to deal with for the rest of this 5-game homestand.
Oh, look ahead.
All right.
Sean Dutra's.
When you look ahead. What are we doing?
Looking ahead.
Exactly.
And it is brought to you by
DraftKings.
Trying on a little new jingle.
Hey, no, DraftKings. Go to DraftKings.com. Sign up using the promo code CLNS. That'll get you an entry into a first contest for free with your first deposit. Go check out DraftKings. That's my favorite daily fantasy site. Guys, I'm not talking about fake money. It's real money. $10,000 is on the line in this contest. So, again, DraftKings.com, promo code CLNS, sign up. And now it is time to look ahead.
All right, what we got, Sean? What we got?
All right. So, it's funny. It's really funny that Zach came on here tooting his horn about the Pistons. Beep, beep. Honk that horn. Beep, beep.
That's what his horn sounds like.
That's the trap horn. So my team at the beginning of the season that I said was 100% going to make the playoffs and probably be a top 5 team is the next team that comes to the TD Garden, the Philadelphia 76ers. So the Philadelphia 76ers will be without Joel Embiid.
Right.
And why is that, Sean?
He doesn't play. Okay, you couldn't say it.
He doesn't play on a back. That's where you go.
He doesn't play on the second night of a back-to-back.
What? That's why he was asking. Okay.
And Philadelphia
All right.
won last night, but
They
unfortunately,
did.
he still will not be playing
Now,
with this team.
Philadelphia.
They barely won after being up by 20.
That's what I was just gonna say.
Nah.
Philadelphia did win, but they almost blew it. So, which is, I mean, hey, I gotta
Kelly
say,
Oubre.
I gotta say, don't even talk about Kelly Oubre. If we want to talk about DraftKings Kelly Oubre, whew, stay away from that guy. Ben Simmons, I really like Ben Simmons.
A lot of people like Ben Simmons.
I'm just saying though, when he came into the league, remember how I hated. I said he was garbage. I said he was too much of a LeBron wannabe. Not love, but I really enjoy watching Ben Simmons play. I think he's going to be a great NBA player.
Right. Well, he certainly shows signs of it. And the last time these two teams met, I mean, it wasn't easy for the Celtics.
No.
Even though they did win the game.
That was a
they
big
had
game.
to make a comeback. They had to hold on to it in the fourth quarter. And it certainly came down to the wire. So I think we'll be into a similar we'll be seeing a similar game come tonight.
He didn't have a great game, though, Simmons. Neither did Joel
No, he
Embiid.
didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't. And not in particular. I mean, I remember JJ Redick caught fire at some points.
Damn, JJ.
Other players stepped up, but as a
It's
cohesive,
burning.
I can't do it. I don't know what.
I'm just gonna go trap on this entire thing. So
I can't. I was gonna say burn, but it doesn't sound.
Shot.
Ben Simmons was fire last
Fire.
night. Burn.
Flames. It's hot. So I'm gonna say we'll see a similar contest because I feel like maybe Ben Simmons goes off, maybe not goes off, but holds his own against the Celtics, a better performance. And I'm looking for the other guys, looking at Redick to do the same thing he did last time.
3 points.
Watch like Bayless just go off.
Nah, that's
It'll be Bayless out of all people.
I mean,
See,
that's the thing about this team. You
I
don't know
will-
exactly who's going to
okay.
be. Covington could drop 20.
Thank you.
Amir Johnson could go off.
reason why I like this Philadelphia 76ers team better than I like the Pistons team. Because
They're
when
the
you
same exact team. By
when
the
you
way.
get to that point, I'm sorry, I would much rather have Jared Bayless, JJ Redick,
Stop right now. Come on.
then Tolliver and Ish Smith.
Why do you keep bringing up the bench players as if this team doesn't have 5 starters
Yo,
that
Ish-
can go off
yo.
for 20 points on any given night?
By the way, Covington is
Ish-
Covington is basically
Tobias?
Tobias Harris. Yeah,
Yeah, but Ish,
Some
you can't-
nights.
you can't sleep on Ish, bro.
I will sleep on Ish
Ish is-
whenever the frig I want to.
He
Oh,
leads
now you don't want to curse.
he leads the
I know.
top 10 bench. Let me remind you again.
Oh, top 10 bench, great.
You're the one bringing up bench players right now. I'm talking about a starting lineup that they can all score 20 points in any given night.
Let's see how long Tolliver can keep that up. I'll take Darius Saric any day of the week.
I'll take the Pistons over the 76ers any day.
All right, well that's dumb. Anyway, so let's continue on. So
Who else you got?
I'll take Ish over Bayless.
what?
Just I don't know. I just felt like saying that.
You would?
No, I really wouldn't.
You wouldn't.
No,
No one would.
I love Bayless. That's why. It's for different reasons. Nothing to do with the Phillies and Detroit conversation.
What fucking reasons are they?
I
Because
think
he was
I
a
think he's
Celtic.
one of the underrated.
No,
He's an underrated player.
It's because he was a Celtic.
You got the
that's all.
Bayless jersey, bro?
No, I don't.
Match it with that headband?
Nah.
Just because Joel comes in, rocking the Bayless jersey and the headband one day. He's like,
I think he's one of those guys. He's just like a solid player.
Yeah.
All around.
Yeah, I think you're right. He's solid.
Yeah.
Just, not good.
Well, you said you would take Bayless over
I would,
Ish, so.
which is
all right. That's what I'm saying.
which means something.
You guys
It's
going to
not-
keep
it's not-
going with this debate, or we're going to keep going looking
Well,
ahead?
I'm a little bit
So
upset.
Covington over
Only
Tolliver,
podcast
right?
where you hear
No,
Ish Smith versus
No,
Jared Bayless.
I would
conversation.
take Robert Covington over Tobias
That's
Harris.
what makes
though.
us unique, bro.
I would take Robert Covington over Tobias Harris any day of the week.
I wouldn't do that.
over Harris.
Over Harris.
Nah,
Okay. Well,
you've gone too far.
no, I have not. Anyways, the Phoenix Suns come into the Garden next
Ooh,
on
Booker-
Saturday.
Booker going to drop 70 again?
That's what I'm saying.
A little matinee.
Booker gonna drop 50?
Nah, your dragon's gonna go off.
Is he the Andre Drummond of the Phoenix Suns instead of scoring versus rebounds?
No, because Sway dropped him in his fantasy league. Monroe is gonna go off.
Probably. But I got to
Wouldn't be
shout.
surprised.
You know what? This is the time of year we got to give a shout out to resident Suns fan Tim Tunis.
Timothy
What's up?
too.
Oh, Tim
One
will
of-
definitely be in the building.
One of the
Gotta get
best.
him on.
Oh, he'll be there.
No, we got to get him on for another.
A rant.
A year ago today, he was on to, what was it, preview? Oh, no, I think we're doing like a
Western Conference thing.
Western Conference thing. It was pretty good. I got to listen to it again. The predictions were a little off, but that's usually the case.
That's how
But-
we do.
But it was a great episode. That was his debut, and then
Debut.
the second episode was the one when he talked about being a Suns fan.
The
Wait,
101 Studios.
Which was the one when he just kept stealing the mic?
I was going to mention that, but that is the one.
Oh, that's what you get with with Tim Tunis, and that's what you get with being a Suns fan. You just black out occasionally. You gotta.
That's how you get through the days.
Yeah.
I can just hear him now. Fuck you guys.
All right, who's out the Phoenix?
The Celtics play the Bucks again.
Ooh.
It is going to be December 4th, and we've played the Bucks 3 times. How is that even possible? It's crazy.
Well, I mean, it's the NBA, man.
But
Yeah.
that is
It's gonna be a good
that
day.
is the-
December 4th.
that is the 4th home game in a row, which is great. Giannis has sort of
Leveled off.
a tad.
So is
Still having a
the
good
rest
game.
of his teammates.
Eric Bledsoe is now there though. Shout out to Tim Sons. E-Bled. I don't know, man. It's going to be these 3 games when you look at it. When you look at the 76ers, the Suns, and the Bucks, I don't think it's me being an idiot to say 3-0 because I think the Celtics need to start turning around. They need to get back on those winning ways. I think it's very important.
Well,
Especially because they're out.
I think obviously the Milwaukee game was the toughest one out of the 3. I mean, Philadelphia could be just as tough, but for the most part, we've seen what Milwaukee can do. But the fact that the Celtics have seen them more than once should put them in a good situation at home, throughout this homestand. I mean, let's face it, the last time this team faced the Bucks, they've improved since then. So they should be able to knock them off at home.
True.
And it's going to be a close game, but I really think this is the homestand where the Celtics can really pick up some momentum and carry that over because, believe it or not, I mean, there's going to be another road trip coming up soon.
Yep.
And then, of course, they come back home, and then there's that big West Coast swing. When they go on that West Coast swing, if they go 500, that's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, so
I will say this.
But either way, they're in great shape. I mean, at the end of the day, look at their record. This is no one could have predicted this.
They should go 3-0.
They should go 3-0.
They should go, but I think for some reason, I don't know why.
Yeah, they're going to drop one.
I feel like the Suns game is where they drop. I don't know why. Because I feel like with Milwaukee, I don't think Milwaukee
been doing those drugs.
with Milwaukee,
he's on that stuff.
They're just
It's on that freaky shit.
There's something about Milwaukee that I'm just like they're just not there. They're not. They're not good as everyone thought they'd be.
I will guarantee a blowout against the 76ers, though. They're going to dominate the 76ers.
Okay, so
76ers
I
on a back-to-back.
don't know about that, but I feel like when we're talking about Milwaukee, though, I feel like it's the matchup against Antetokounmpo. They just don't have someone to slow him down. And I'm not saying that he can single-handedly defeat the Celtics, but if he has a couple of players helping him out, if it comes down to a situation where it's a 2-point game and he goes off for 7 points in a row, that's very much likely that's capable. He's capable of doing that.
We talked about it. If you're a good team, the Celtics, and the Kyrie is not going off, then the Celtics need to figure out that second player to come in.
Well, there you go. There you go. What if Kyrie gets into a slump in that
That's what
fourth
I'm saying.
quarter?
That's what I'm saying. But I want to just say this, before we get into it, in case you missed it. Do not judge the 76ers on the game they are about to play against the Celtics because I think they will suck. They will suck, but they are a good team.
All right, we'll see. We'll see if you're right. And that's Sean Dutra's.
When you look ahead,
8th seed at best.
get the fuck out of here.
All right, let's wrap up this episode the same way we wrap up every single episode, where we take our trip around the NBA with Joel's In Case You Missed It.
Matt Lauer.
In case you missed it.
Too soon.
He did not make mine in case you missed it.
What? Oh, come on.
He's bonus if you want to bring him up. But
I'll bring him up right now. I
have-
always
no,
knew
no,
Matt
we're-
Lauer was a creep. I always knew it. I've been saying that for years.
We're going to have a separate episode, maybe.
Matt Lauer is the most shadiest dude in the world. I woke up and I saw it and I said, people are just getting on this shit. I could have told you this guy was unzipping his pants in front of random women.
That would have been the perfect.
years.
Hold on.
That would have been the perfect conspiracy theory if you came up with that a few weeks ago.
Oh, you know what? Matt Lauer isn't top of mind, really.
shadier than Trump?
Oh, dude. I think this whole thing is a buildup to
Grabbing?
get Trump.
Grabbing versus showing?
I mean, let's be honest. Trump is like, if I had to say, where is this going to end? It's going to be at Trump.
You think something else is going to come out, huh? How about Trump trying to all of a sudden say you know what, none of that stuff was true, by the way, no, I didn't grab her, but that tape is false. You didn't hear about this?
You don't want me? You want me to get on this shit? No, you don't want this, man.
You don't want this.
I just wanted to make fun of Matt Lauer and move on.
For the bonus episode.
No, real quick though, something food for thought. What happened to all these women that came forward and all these charges it's like they never happened. He's not going to court. He's not, or he's never going to be charged, or he just became president and that was it. that's how I'm feeling right now.
You know the only reason why
Not that I'm saying what Matt Lauer did.
You know the only reason why the Trump sex
less
scandals
bad than
hasn't come out yet is just because he just constantly he knows that anytime he says NFL, everyone just loses their fucking mind.
Mm-hmm.
So he just distracts it. You know what?
National anthem. Ah!
Yeah. Oh, shit's going on in North Korea. What about those goddamn sons of bitches kneeling? Huh? And everyone's like, oh yeah, I'm from Arkansas. And you're right, Trump. They're disrespecting everything.
Yeah, his followers.
The fuck out of here. Don't get. I
his
don't want to get
followers.
started on
His
this.
followers
I
are the
can't
ones that get
stop.
all
Gun control.
excited.
And they're the only ones that sit and fucking eat Lay's potato chips and fucking sit in front of their TV and watch fucking Fox News all day and Gershk off to fucking Matt Lauer, Gershkin off to fucking other people. Like I hate that shit. And you know what the fucked up part is?
Look what you did, Joel.
You know what the fucked up part is? I will just say this. Rob Moore, the fucking Republican senator or whatever the fuck he is from Texas, has the same motherfucking allegations. You know who's getting all the spotlight? Harvey Weinstein, Democrat. Matt Lauer, Democrat. Fucking that other director. I forget his name. He's so in Democrat. Louis, Democrat.
Yeah.
Strong Democrat. Look
right.
at this shit, right?
You're
And then
right.
you got the same guy, Rob Moore,
But what
in
about-
a fucking political
But
office.
what about Bill O'Reilly though?
Bill, okay, guess what?
He's kind of flown under the radar.
Guess
right?
what? Bill O'Reilly. Does anyone remember Bill O'Reilly? If you talk about the shit now, you're talking about Harvey Weinstein. You're talking about Matt Lauer. You're talking about motherfucking Louis C.K. No one's mentioning Bill O'Reilly anymore. The fucking dude who's trying to pass one of
Kevin
the biggest,
Spacey, Dustin
Yeah.
Hoffman.
yeah, biggest tax cut bills ever. His idea is the guy that's fucking a Republican from Texas, one of Trump's biggest states, has the same allegations. And you barely hear about that shit. It's all about this fucking everybody else.
Holy shit. Sean just connected the motherfucking dots.
Trump controls.
Props,
the
bro.
shit,
Props for that, yo. I'm gonna drop that beat right now.
All right, well, that's gonna do it for this edition of the Cosby Street podcast.
So that's it. I don't know. I can't even bounce back from that.
What else we missed, bro?
So it was 50 degrees today in Boston. In case you missed it, LeBron James was ejected.
What do you think he said, bro?
Let me guess.
According to Bron,
Let me guess.
he bitched about a non-call.
He complained.
When James Johnson, according to him, said followed him all the way up the court. Ref Kane Fitzgerald explained the ejection, stating that LeBron charged towards him, punching the air while using vulgarity in his ear a few times. Even Ty Lue agreed LeBron should have been tossed, especially since Cleveland was up by 22 points, about 2 minutes left in the third quarter. But my favorite part about this story, though, Nick Center, Enes Kanter, who has been trolling LeBron ever since James calling himself the King of New York on social media. Kanter tweeted a pic of a pissed off James being held back by Dwayne Wade. Kanter circled the ref and captioned the King of Cleveland.
That's a lot of buildup for an outright joke.
I was like, what's he gonna do? What did he do?
Well, Kanter got in James's face in New York too.
Yeah, he did.
They got a little bit of a scuffle.
He did. Ever since that, he just keeps trolling James. James
Oh,
just
good.
doesn't pay attention to
You
him
know what?
on social media.
I
love Kanter, though.
I had a water cooler talk about this today.
Oh, another
Somebody
water
said, "You
cooler
see,
talk, huh?"
LeBron James got kicked out of the game." I was like, "Yeah, it's about fucking time." And he's like, "It's the first time ever." And I was like, "The first time ever?
Yeah, first time ever, bro.
That's ridiculous."
He's been-
I at least thought he was thrown out for once before.
But see, that's the thing, though.
Nah,
After 15 years, how many times have we seen LeBron James go off about a call? This is the very first time, and he chooses this time to complain
LeBron James-
about how he's not getting enough calls
well,
this
that's-
year.
but
By the way,
but
did
that's
you
another
see
thing.
his
Come on,
17-step travel the other night?
But
Yeah,
that's the thing about this, like him bitching about how the refs give him non-calls or whatever the case may be. Only a handful of times he's reached 6 fouls. I feel like the last time that happened.
He's fouled out like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, I feel like the last time that happened was against the Celtics back in 2012 in the Eastern Conference Finals.
No.
And even then, that was shocking. That I think up to that point, it had only been 2 times maybe. And at the same token of him, bitching or whatever, you got other LeBron, for lack of a better term, supporters in the media that all they say is, "Oh, he has a tough time with the referees. The referees are trying to, make him become a shooter. Every time he drives, they never
Brian
gets the
Windhorst,
calls."
just
No,
tell Brian Windhorst to shut up.
it's not even Windhorst. It's cats like Nick Wright and
Idiot.
and
We don't-
and
wait, here it is. I told you bring Nick right up on every episode. You tell me you don't, but you do.
No, this is only the third time.
Now it's like the 8th in a row, bro.
Well, speaking of Bron, reportedly the Sixers.
What did
will-
Nick Wright have to say?
Well, no, Nick Wright said this. Reportedly, the Sixers will make an offer to Bron next summer when everyone knows that he will opt out of his current deal. Could Bron lead Philly during this trusted process
No.
era? What do you think?
No.
No,
Nope.
he wouldn't be a good fit there.
No.
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 All right. Took the wind out of my sails. All right.
No, I just think that Philly's too crusty for LeBron James.
All right.
Well, I don't think it's that. I think it's just those players. To LeBron, he's like, that's not a concrete group where I can actually, make my way to
What
the
the fuck is he
championship.
going to
You
do
mean-
with Ben Simmons there?
You mean Joel Embiid hasn't played he has to play back-to-back games?
Him and Ben Simmons
exactly.
are going to be on the
Like,
same team?
Embiid is shaky. I think him and Simmons can coexist.
No,
with
they
each other.
can't.
Yes, they can.
Yeah,
No,
they
they
can.
can't.
Yeah, they can.
No,
They
they
can.
can't.
In today's NBA,
They're the same
you
player.
can bump him to the 4. That's fine. The only problem is he can't shoot. If he could
Yeah.
shoot, then yeah.
There's-
Well,
there-
then-
there
but
are-
then you have-
Riddick's on a 1-year deal.
Hold
They
on,
have no
hold on,
shooters.
Hold on. Then you
You're
have
right.
the Dwayne Wade and LeBron duo. Dwayne Wade was a great shooter, but it still worked.
Is Dwayne Wade just follow LeBron wherever he goes?
I think this is his last stop. I think he's gonna.
You don't think he's just going to keep like
I mean, if LeBron leaves, he'll probably
playing like a half year, like not signing until January?
You know what? That's a great
He's
question.
been playing well as of late. Just saying.
I
During
mean,
this
from,
9-game
from
win
the
streak.
beginning,
Hey.
though, from the beginning, we all predicted, especially me, I predicted him to go to Cleveland, but I also think Cleveland probably wanted him more than he wanted Cleveland. Because Cleveland was like, if these two can rekindle that special,
Well, I think they wanted him.
special relationship they had in Miami, maybe no matter what happens this year, LeBron will stick around.
Well, I think
LeBron will stick around for at least
think they
another
wanted-
year or two.
they wanted a starter. You know what I mean? Instead of
Nah, it was more about the relationship with LeBron.
I feel like the relationship.
Dwayne
was
Wade
him
could be
starting.
44, and they would be
Dwayne Wade
like,
sucks.
you can help him stay. You
Well,
guys
his
can do
role
something
now,
special
his
here.
role
Dwayne
now
Wade
is coming off
sucks.
the bench, and he's been doing pretty well.
Yeah, Dwayne
And
Wade
speaking
sucks.
of the Cavs, who are now 3.5 games behind the first place Celtics,
Not worried about him.
and without Derrick Rose, mind you,
But we ain't going to talk about that?
where the man has been out since November 7th with an ankle injury,
Ghosting.
and the former MVP is considering retirement.
You know what he should be considering? A haircut.
I thought he did
Oh,
get a
here we
haircut.
go again.
Nope.
He did get a haircut.
He's got a long ass dreads now.
Sean's gonna call it unkempt again, like he did last
I
year.
never said that.
Well,
Never said that. I'm just saying.
You said
when
nappy.
he had it. When he no,
Sean,
I
I
did.
can't believe you used the word nappy.
I
last
did
year.
not. Oh no!
Sean, I think your hair might be a little nappy right now.
Don't do it. It probably is.
You called him nappy, Sean.
No, I said unkept. This is not a racial. This is not a racial take.
No,
this
no.
is
Oh,
Derrick
no,
Rose when
no,
he had
Sean,
a tight
hold on, Joel, hold on.
fucking cut
Sean, I'm
was
with you.
so much better.
Listen, I'm with you because you know what this is. I feel like this is him just sort of showing how depressed he is.
Or how much he doesn't.
I don't think
care.
this is a brand new thing. Okay, I think he cares, but I think at the end of the day, he can't get over the fact that he's not one of the best players in the NBA.
Yeah,
I think the hairdo, the look in general,
just the swag now.
the
like,
swag. He's really. I mean, he was always kind of like quiet, but I feel like the last few years, he's just almost like on the sad side of quiet. Right?
Yeah.
It's almost as if
he's sad.
he can't get over the fact that like, man, Russell Westbrook, Steph Curry, all these other guys who I know if I was 100% throughout my career, I would be better than them. I would be considered, right there with LeBron if I didn't have this injury.
He did
He was
win.
better
He did
than
win
LeBron.
MVP.
He stole
what I'm
that
saying,
MVP
though.
from LeBron.
And he
LeBron
got
probably
that
should have
MVP
won
at
that
such
year.
a young age.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
Well, and then he decided to grow his hair out, and not care anymore. And then he sucked. Then he started tearing every ACL in his body.
you know what? I agree with him.
ACL,
I
MCL,
agree with him.
NECL.
I'm not saying he would have been better than LeBron, but he would have been a top 5 player if he never got injured.
He
At
would
least
be-
you could say that. Maybe
he-
top
He
3.
He was basically Russell Westbrook before Russell Westbrook came into the league.
A little more dynamic. I think Russell's a little quicker, but very similar.
I don't even think Russell's quicker than D Rose back in the day.
No, he's quicker.
Back in the day,
Rose, let me tell you the difference.
Rose's first step.
Rose can change. Okay, Rose's first step, I'll give you that. But Rose can change direction so quickly that he's almost impossible to guard. but Westbrook would just blow right past you. That's the difference.
Right, but I think Derrick Rose. If you
They're slightly different, but Westbrook is quicker because of that.
If
If
you
he'll
can-
blow right past
if
you
you-
instead
but-
of having to cross you up.
but like Rose will cross you up.
Yeah,
like
right. That's what I'm
no
saying.
matter what,
easily
like,
is effective.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I think if I had to pick who's quicker out of the two, Westbrook gets the edge.
You gotta take-
but he will cross you. He will
gotta-
cross you up worse than Westbrook.
You
will.
got to take one dude.
Speaking of Westbrook, real quick, he
One
got crossed
season.
up pretty bad last night.
Yeah.
That was bad. But yeah, go ahead. If you had to pick one dude,
One
what?
dude, one season. Are you taking the Russell Westbrook of last year, or are you taking Derrick Rose's MVP season?
Westbrook,
Yeah,
because he
yeah, I gotta go with Westbrook.
even his MVP,
it's pretty
even in
tough,
Rose's
though.
MVP season, he wasn't averaging double figures in
Well, here's-
assists or rebounds.
That's true.
but-
He wasn't averaging triple double, but also this.
How young
what
was he?
Westbrook brought to the playoffs last year?
Yeah,
That team had no business being there.
true.
No business being
I'm
there.
just-
let
I'm-
alone getting out of the first round. They got out of the first round.
I just think
Are you kidding me?
I agree. I agree. You take Westbrook every day, but I think it's like you can make an argument to say like you have to start a team like you don't know the future of this player.
Yeah.
You start a team with what? A 22-year-old Derrick Rose
Yeah.
or a 28-year-old Russell Westbrook? Like that season that Derrick Rose had was one of the best seasons I've ever seen. But then after
Still not
that,
triple double though.
still not a triple double. I get.
I tell you
it.
this.
Triple
though.
double stunts.
Which
It
is
trumps all.
Wait,
Not to bring his
Oh,
name
wait,
back.
wait,
come on,
wait.
come on, what the fuck?
No, my bad. Real quick, I was just gonna say. Go ahead. Let's see if it comes back again.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
I do that all the time. Just yell it.
so the former MVP, right? You know, he stepped away from the team. You know,
Oh,
he's
that's
got,
what I'm gonna
he's got
say.
permission.
Okay, I'm sorry.
All right,
Okay.
go ahead.
You knew he just had to wait for you to start, dude.
Sean was like, just say it. Okay. Before it slips my mind again. If D Rose is healthy, that MVP season, no, the year after, neck and neck, but there's a chance that he could have knocked off the Celtics if he's healthy.
They were the number one seed.
Yes, when the Bulls were that good and he fell.
when Philly when he got injured in Game 1 against Philly.
Yes.
Yeah.
You think that Bulls team was gonna knock off the Celtics?
I think
Yeah.
they could have had a shot.
Yeah, I think
I'm
that-
not saying definitive.
that
I'm not being
the
definitive.
Celtics dodged a bullet
Yeah.
that Rose got hurt.
I
'Cause
mean,
once Rose got
they
hurt,
still went to 7 games with Philly, so I still think it goes. If
I think the Bulls would've won
if
that-
you're
won
saying
that
challenging,
series.
they would have gone probably 7.
Bulls would have won that.
I agree with that. Yeah,
Bulls would've won that.
Gone 7.
Would have gone at
Bulls
least
would've
7.
won?
You think the Bulls would have won?
Definitively? You're saying that? I don't know.
What's that? 2012.
Yeah,
Yes.
2012.
Bulls would have won. Yeah.
That's the team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals
Yes.
and
The
pushed
Celtics-
And
pushed
had-
the
and
Heat.
had- yeah,
had a
pushed the
3-2
Heat.
lead
Yeah,
against
exactly.
the Heat.
Yeah. The Celtics also got the luckiest draw ever. They were the 4th seed.
They missed out on the MVP.
And they were supposed to play the 1 seed, and instead they played the 8 seed. Like, they took them to 7 games. Rose probably, I think it would have been a battle, but I think that would have been, instead of having that happen against LeBron in the Eastern Conference Finals.
I get you. But do you
that would have
remember?
been
Do you
the
remember? Do you remember Rondo averaging nearly a triple double that
Rondo
playoffs
versus
that
Rose.
playoff that playoff
Yeah,
season?
that would have been
No, this whole thing should be on.
that would have
video.
been crazy, bro. Rondo playing the best basketball he ever played. Rose playing the best basketball he
It
ever
would have been a
played.
showdown. It would have been.
Would have been a fucking.
Yeah.
It goes.
Oh.
I you know.
Oh,
like,
man,
when
what
when
we
Sway says
missed.
challenge,
See-
it probably goes 7.
In
But
case
I don't
we-
know. I don't know if the Celtics
in
if the Celtics
case
lose.
we
I don't
missed
think
it though.
Yeah.
We missed it, man.
Call
Jesus.
me, you know, a homer
I know,
all you want,
literally
but
we
that's
missed it.
that's a
I'm
good.
just
That would have been a
thinking-
great series.
I'm just thinking
No,
about
that's what
how
I'm thinking. That's why I was like, look, I got to get this out. I'm trying to remember what it was.
how dominant were the Bulls though that year? The Bulls were dominant, man.
Yeah.
The Heat couldn't compete with the
And
Bulls
the
that year.
Celtics matched up. They had a tough time with them throughout the regular season.
They did.
Yeah.
The only
Yeah, but
time they
even
won
though-
was when
yeah,
I think
but
Rose
even-
was injured.
Yo, even though that would have been a great series against the Celtics, they didn't match up well against the Heat because the year before that they lost 4-1.
That was the year before that.
I understand that, but it's the same. It was the same exact squad. They didn't add anybody.
I don't know, man.
I think they added like Rip Hamilton, which they didn't end up using. I think they cut him like halfway through the season.
Yeah.
I don't know. That Derrick Rose.
I forgot about that. I thought he was going to be such a factor, but he
So
wasn't.
did I.
It's
I
one of
was
the
like
sad-
excited about
It's
that.
one of the saddest stories of all time.
About Rip or
No.
Rose?
About Rip Hamilton not getting run on the 2012 Bulls? Yeah, the saddest story of
Sounds
all
like
time.
nice. He had the best career he could have ever. He reached his potential.
I'm saying Derrick Rose, man. Like, as much as
no,
I love
that's what
making fun of him.
dude, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Much
at the
I
end-
love making fun of him.
At the
So
end of
cool.
the day, when you were making fun of him, that's what I think. I think of a guy who just like he can't get over the fact, and that's why I think this whole thing is legit. I think.
Well, that's why-
to wrap it up, I think this whole thing is legit. I think he's legit thinking, man, I don't even know if I want to do this anymore.
No, but
I'm done. I can't
but
even
him, but
take
him,
over a
but
game.
him thinking like that, him having this mentality, more like mind over body or vice versa, whatever.
Body over mind, definitely.
Yeah. So, but the way he was talking in the preseason, everyone's like, oh, everyone's talking like I'm 38. I'm 28. You know what I mean? So then why talk like that? And then all of a sudden, it's an ankle injury.
He's not feeling it, man. He's not feeling
It's
it.
an ankle injury.
Well, it's an
though.
ankle injury, but
he didn't tore his ACL.
This is what's going on. He's like, look, it's December. It's going to be December in a couple of days, and I'm done. I don't even have enough energy to help LeBron while Isaiah's out. You don't think heading into this regular season he was like, oh, okay, perfect. I can ball up alongside LeBron. I could take over games for 2 months. I'll hold this thing down while Isaiah gets his rest. And then look what happened. He's like, man, I
It's
think
not like it was balling
year,
before it happened, though.
Yes, he was. That's what I was just going to say. Last year for the Knicks. Okay, let me preface this. Of course, it is the New York Knicks. However, 18 points a game, consistently shooting shooting a good mark from the floor. I think he convinced himself that, man, I can still do this. You know what? I may not be an all-star anymore, but you put me on a championship level team, and I can push you over the edge. He's not pushing the Cavs over the edge.
But two things. I think the way the Cavs are playing now, he's like, shit, they're doing well without me, right? And then the other thing, and the other factor is, and you brought it up, the Cavs are they're trying to win the championship.
Yeah.
So then they're not rushing Rose back. You know what I mean? So he could still come back and like.
No, I agree with that, but I just don't think Derrick Rose.
That's why this shouldn't think like that.
I don't think Derrick Rose believes that. I just think he's just down and out. But go on. This is like a Derrick Rose a whole episode. We should do it separately.
He's got permission to step away from the team this time, unlike what happened last season. But whatever.
Well, there was rumors he didn't tell nobody.
I was gonna say at least he said something this time. Yeah. At least he told people what was going on.
But if Rose,
see that time was probably a night he was like, you know what, I don't even want to play tonight. I'm good. I'm just gonna stay home.
But if Rose, who's only signed through this season, were to call it a career, he's gonna forfeit about $80 million with Adidas.
He's just getting some time off. LeBron's not gonna let that happen.
I'm just saying.
LeBron is trying to get all the help he can get, and he's like, look, if you can put up 12 points, I'll take it.
Yeah, I feel
He's like, Jose Calderon's our fucking point guard. Get the fuck back here. But take your time. Yeah. It's not even December yet. We're built for June. But don't give up altogether. I think he'll be back. He'll be back.
I feel like if you're having that type of thought, then you don't care about the Adidas money. Like if you're like, I'm going to give up my
saying, but there's so much incentive for him to stick around. Whether he gets better a week from now or 2 months from now, that's better. Just stick around. Don't
that Adidas money. See, you can't.
Don't be a bitch, though.
You can't invest in a dude like that young, man.
Well, he still gets
Adidas,
that money as long as he's still playing in the NBA. As long as he's still an active member of the roster, whether he's playing or not, he still gets his money. So he ain't gonna get that anywhere else.
Get that paper.
There you go. In case you missed it, Dave Fitzdale was fired as the head coach of the Memphis Grizzlies earlier this week after the team lost his
get rid of Tone Loc.
After the team lost his 8th straight game, Marc Gasol was benched in the entire fourth quarter of the 98-88 loss to the Nets on Sunday. I guess those Take That for Data t-shirts are a collector's item now down in Memphis. The Grizzlies right now have the 12th best record in the West. What do you guys think? Should he have been fired? Should he just waited out a little bit?
Well, Marc Gasol got him fired.
Nah, I don't think so.
He was pissed, though. He was pissed.
Marc Gasol got him fired.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, they spoke. I forget who. Someone asked Vince Carter his opinion, his 5 cents on this whole thing.
Of course, they asked Vince. I do love to talk.
And Vince was just like, some. And I don't know how the fuck. I don't know what this means. He goes, some situations you just have to shake your head. I don't know what the fuck that means.
By the way, my biggest problem.
Profound.
My biggest problem.
Thanks,
and
Vince.
I'm so glad you brought this up because I was steaming when I saw this tweet. LeBron James tweeted, "This is messed up, man. That's my guy. I need answers."
Yes.
You know what, LeBron?
What
Remember
was
when
that
you got
about?
David Blatt fired? Huh? Remember that? When you had the best record in the Eastern Conference and you decided, I want to fire the coach, and they fired the coach? LeBron, you know what? Fuck you, LeBron. That was the one that was a straw in the fucking camel's back. Fuck you.
You know what's funny, too? The timing of it.
He
literally tweeted that out like less than an hour after the news broke.
Yeah.
I'm like, really, LeBron?
I need answers.
It's like, I need answers. I heard that Marc Gasol said he didn't want to play for the guy anymore, and they fired him. Can you believe that?
I say the Suns
David Blatt
should
just,
sign him. Should sign
David Blatt just like
Fizdale.
takes lights up a cigarette right when he sees that shit. He's just like,
Yeah, but do you guys really think that was the final straw, though? Because he didn't play Mark?
I just think
the
it was
problem.
eight
They weren't
consecutive
liking
losses.
him. Well, not only that, but I think they
it has
weren't liking
nothing
him
to do
for a
with the team.
while.
Here's the problem.
They weren't liking him for a while. I think
Here's
it was
the
the
problem.
players. They weren't
Memphis
him.
fucked themselves because Memphis decided we're not gonna blow it up. Like we're just gonna sign Gasol and we'll sign Connolly and like we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna win with Gasol.
But those guys
and
were already
Connolly.
signed. Like and
But
this
not
past
really.
offseason,
They could have they
that's
could
what I'm
have
saying. But
traded
this past
him.
offseason, they haven't done. They didn't. Who did they sign?
That's what I mean.
They haven't done anything.
That's what I mean. They haven't
let- they
gotten
let
better. They
Tebow
said
go.
they said, you know what, we can keep this core. This
Vince is gone.
yeah.
Tony
Allen's gone. The whole grit
The whole
gang's
grit gang,
gone.
exactly.
They're just like, let's keep our best players. So I don't know. You know, Marc Gasol's 32 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's older than Al Horford.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Yeah.
Get the fuck! I don't want
That's
that
why.
guy on
That's
the
why
team.
that
Yeah,
night.
Jesus
That night I
Christ.
was drafting. I was like, should I get Mark in this round?
By the way,
I don't know.
remember the Marc Gasol?
But he's been pretty good this year though.
the Marc Gasol highlight video.
Yeah,
Best.
but
No
I
one
tr-
else knows.
I just
about
wish
that.
I was gonna say I wish our listeners would know what we're talking about. We'll get more in depth into that, but
Yeah.
they have no idea.
Mind blown.
Is it on YouTube, Sean? Could they find it on YouTube?
No,
No.
that was muted TV.
That was
music.
awesome.
That was
for our viewing only.
that was special.
She's gone in the clouds now.
Special.
In case you missed it, Blake Griffin will be out 2 months with a sprained MCL in his left knee after teammate Austin Rivers fell on his leg while trying to grab a loose ball.
Rivers can't catch a break.
Not a good
This
look.
coming after the Clippers learned recently that they'll be without point guard Patrick Beverly for the rest of the season
the whole year.
after undergoing right knee surgery.
When it rains, it pours.
Plus, it's been reported this past week that the Clippers will look to shop DeAndre Jordan, who could become a free agent next summer. Looks like it's going to be the Doc and Austin show instead of Lob City now.
Real quick, before you guys even comment, is this possible? Is this possible? Is this possible? DeAndre Jordan to the Cavs, some sort of package deal for that number one pick,
Christ.
that Brooklyn pick, because the Clippers, they so desperately need to start over
The
that they could use a top 5 pick next year.
the Cavaliers would be
No.
that
You know why?
dumb
You know why that
to
doesn't
do
work?
that.
Because Lawrence Frank is going to be like, Doc, what do I do? Because Doc, he's not the team president anymore.
Here's the more important.
Lawrence Frank is. Lawrence Frank was brought in by Doc Rivers. You know what I mean?
First off,
That's admitting failure.
Doc is not a good coach.
Okay.
Doc
Yeah.
is a good coach with superstars.
No,
He did
let
a
me-
great
let
job
me-
here.
let me-
He's
no,
not
no,
a
he's
good
he's
coach.
a good coach, but he hasn't adapted to this new NBA,
Okay, I'll give you that.
right?
I'll give you that.
I like that.
Yeah,
Small ball thing.
fair.
The from
Fair.
1
Yeah,
to
that's
5
fair.
positionless basketball.
Not playing Paul Pierce the last 2 seasons of his career. Yeah.
See what I mean?
completely
He
agree.
lost a step.
Let's
Yeah,
say
I
let's say
completely
this:
agree.
positionless basketball. He hasn't converted. I mean, he has DeAndre Jordan. He has his system is completely
Is I'm gonna win it
outdated
like it's
compared to
2008. Yeah.
today. Yeah, exactly. That old formula. Exactly. Right.
You know what's funny though too? Did you hear him saying like Lonzo Ball should have got a foul on that play? And you watch it, it's like, no, Austin just dove into Blake's legs. He was untouched. By the way, here's why I wanted to bring up the story. Lou Williams is exactly what the Celtics need. Exactly what the
Oh.
Celtics need right now.
You did bring
Explain.
this up.
The Celtics need to make a trade for Lou Williams if they're going to blow it up in LA, which they should. Blake's now out for 2 months. You lost Patrick Beverly. You've lost about 20 games in a goddamn row. You should blow that up. DeAndre Jordan should get traded. I don't know if he'll go to Cleveland. But
Do
I
it.
don't want anything to do with DeAndre Jordan. But I want Lou Williams. I want Lou Williams.
Doc is like, fuck you, Danny. I ain't giving you nothing. I ain't giving you nothing.
I ain't giving you nothing. Give me an assistant coaching job. I'm going to get fired. I'll make sure Lou Williams gets there.
You know what else he's thinking too? You know what else he's probably thinking like?
How much is Lou?
You know what, Daddy? Where's the reunion? It's been 10 years. Why is there no reunion set up?
It's coming up. It's coming up this season.
You think they're gonna do a reunion?
Celtics will, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Lou
I think
Williams.
the Paul
Lou
Pierce
Williams.
retirement night is gonna be the unofficial reunion.
No, because the NBC Sports Boston, like during these games, during the Celtics games, have been throwing little things about the 2018.
They probably put in a documentary together. It's like what they were doing with the '86 Celtics.
Well, because
They
they're
kept sprinkling
celebrating
in, and then it was
yeah,
like,
they're
oh,
celebrating. Like
That's
you know,
why you had the
Yeah.
you had the documentary coming up. Anyways, what else we missed?
In case you missed it, Ben Gordon. We all remember him, right?
Yeah.
Speaking
You know?
of that Bulls team,
Bull,
yeah,
former Bull, Bobcat, Magic guard, played a bunch of other teams as well.
UConn?
He was arrested over the weekend in L.A. on a felony. You guys just went down completely.
he didn't touch somebody.
This
Did he?
Joel
Oh,
always
he
got-
touched somebody.
On
Did
a
he touch
felony.
somebody?
No, he did not.
No.
He
Matt
did not.
Lauer?
No.
Matt Lauer.
No. He did not.
Okay, he didn't touch somebody. All right.
All right.
What
On
did
a
he do?
felony robbery charge.
Zip.
The 34-year-old former NBA star was accused of punching a manager of a downtown apartment complex
Okay.
where he was renting.
All right.
According to a police report, he pulled a knife on this dude,
Okay.
taking money that Gordon claimed was his security deposit. He spent the weekend in jail, was
You know
released on $50,000 bail early Tuesday morning. This is just the latest incident in a recent string of arrests, including a November 20th arrest in New York for driving with a forged license plate.
Okay, not mad about that.
All right. In late October, he was ordered to undergo.
Jeez, what, we got a rap sheet?
Undergo a psychiatric evaluation after locking a woman in a sports store that he owns.
Okay.
And in June, was arrested for pulling fire alarms.
Got to be a good reason for that.
In June, was arrested for pulling a fire alarms at his apartment building when there was no fire.
Probably fucked up. Probably fucked up on that one.
Poor guy. So much for promise out of this UConn alum. It's a bunch of others, but those are just like the key ones.
Really?
You know what?
So-
If you really if you remember those days though, when he was great in the NBA, it's always seemed like a little something off about
Twitchy, right?
him. Yeah, a little
That
twitchy.
kinda guy.
You mean
He seemed like the type of guy that not a lot of people hung out with after games. Like he sort of did his own thing, but he brought enough talent to the floor that everyone was just like, all right, yeah, he's cool. It's a little weird, but
he was one of those guys that when Derrick Rose, especially his rookie season, everyone was like, Derrick Rose is the next guy. And Ben Gordon was like, fuck that. I've
Yeah.
been here for a few years.
I'm the guy.
I should have been the next guy.
I'm the guy.
And when he was offered, I think it was like a $50 or $60 million contract, he's like, no, I'm worth more than that.
yeah.
And that's what he fizzled out.
I don't know. Ben Gordon to me, I think UConn.
I thought he was the truth. Man. I'm not
UConn.
gonna lie.
Yeah,
I thought
UConn. On
eventually he's
UConn,
gonna
Ben
be like
Gordon was a beast, bro.
Yeah,
Absolute beast.
he was a beast in the NBA too. But yeah, obviously UConn, he was
Going back to that crime sheet though, everything.
He goes, something sticks out there. Let me.
The fire alarms, bro.
Yeah, fire alarms.
So he that's
You just start pulling them for no reason.
like if that's the only thing, I'd be like, yo, you got fucked up one night. You took the wrong mix
to
of
the
drugs.
back to
Like
the
you
rap
just
sheet real quick.
you just did the wrong thing. But then like, what do you think that woman did to him that he just locked the store?
Well, I did a little further research into that particular
Really?
incident, and apparently, I don't know if he was seeing this woman or he knew this woman.
Ah, there it is.
But they were arguing in the store. He was throwing things. He locked himself in the bathroom at one
He
point.
tried to Matt Lauer her. Huh? That's
I don't know about all that,
Close the door.
but he locked himself in the bathroom. He was found crying and just a bunch of stuff.
Oh man.
So yeah,
well,
Ben having a hard time
that's
after
it.
life
All
after
right,
the NBA.
I'm with you, Ben. Come on, Ben. You can rebound. Hey, Antoine, reach out to Ben. He can turn anyone around.
I remember a couple of years ago he tried
I mean,
to make
Antoine
an
only
NBA
got a-
comeback. He was playing in the G League, but he was. And no one really talked about him, as he fizzled out.
Speaking of
slowly.
the G League, James Young, truth.
Yeah, but that's the thing nowadays in the NBA, man. Like you can't do the comeback thing anymore.
No.
No, I'm saying a few years ago before all this shit.
No, I know, obviously, but he was in comeback mode. He was trying to.
Last guy to make a comeback like that.
Yeah,
I think the best story is probably
Sean Livingston?
Tim. Oh yeah, Livingston probably. Well, it's because
That's
because of the
injuries,
injury
though.
he
not,
was down there.
Not psychopathia and crime.
I was gonna say the best story for someone who went through the G League and came out and is getting playing time at his advanced age. Tim Frazier. I mean, the guy's like what 30, 31. He's literally
It's not a good comparison.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I was thinking like T-Back on the Spurs. He had like a little spurt,
like a
right?
comeback. But like that's the thing. That's like the best you can do is prolong your career via G League.
I hope like
Because you're talking about from someone who passed his prime and then tries to come back. Like
I hope
that. You
Dwight
don't see
Gooden.
that.
I'm Dwight Gooden. What is that the name?
Drew Gooden.
Drew Gooden, not Dwight Gooden. He's the Mets pitcher. I hope Drew Gooden comes back this
No,
year.
I thought if anybody would do it, I thought it would be.
I think he's like a
Carlos-
commentator now on NBA TV.
Oh, yeah, he is.
I
Unfortunately.
thought it would be
yeah.
Carlos Boozer. He's been a commentator too.
Booze, man.
I don't know what happened to him.
He
Played that
left
one
too
last
soon.
season. He got bought out or he got
He's
amnestied by Chicago. He
he's
played
a-
that one last season and with the LA. And I remember,
He's a victim.
he was
He's a
on Inside the
victim of
NBA, and I
victim
remember
of the new NBA.
remember Charles was like, "Why aren't you still playing?" Like he was like, "I don't know. I
Victim
couldn't
of
even
the
tell
new
you." Bro.
NBA. Yeah, victim of the new NBA.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right. Well, this, in case you missed it, is brought to you by the CLNS mobile app for the best online sports coverage. You can also subscribe to the CLNS YouTube channel. You'll see us on there.
Hey, the
Hey,
little
yo.
video.
Hey, yo.
Check me out.
That's right. Check out the opening segment.
And that is it for
In case you missed it.
Matt Lauer. It's a Matt Lauer hour.
Hope everybody enjoyed
I'm so happy about Matt Lauer.
their Thanksgiving break. You know, I know all three of us here enjoyed our weekend, especially when we saw that Jay show
You mean the Vic Mensa show?
down at Vic and Jay.
Oh.
He opened up for Jay down on Causeway Street.
Hey.
Sean, why are you trying to
Murdered
play
it.
it off as if you weren't going
Kidding.
nuts?
Jay was fucking nuts, man. That whole
Yeah,
show
Sean
was nuts.
Sean
That
was losing
that was
it.
great.
No, that was a great time.
It's a great night.
A lot of people there too. Packed show.
It was a great time. In case you missed it. Some music news. Q-Tip. Fucking frustrated about the Tribe Called Quest, the latest album, or their last album, not being nominated for anything in the upcoming Grammys.
I love Q-Tip the rapper. I really don't fucking like Q-Tip.
That's a person.
He's an idiot.
Does he have a legit gripe though?
No, he
I
doesn't.
think he has a legit gripe. I'm with
I mean,
you.
they had him perform on this year's Grammys.
Fine.
I'm with you. We talked about it before. I mean, like, yeah, the timing of the album, obviously.
The timing is the biggest thing.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, there
was no promo behind it though.
No promo,
Well,
no
I'm
push.
not even saying that. I'm saying the fact that there wasn't a lot of great rap albums. Like, you would think they would at least get a nomination for a rap category. You know what I mean? Like,
Some type of, I get it. But
yeah, something.
him being mad about it is stupid.
Just fucking pissed off.
Well, the way he went off, the way he went on
on
about
social
it,
media,
kinda- yeah.
Instagram in particular.
By the way, Smithsonian curator of hip hop is Q-Tip.
Yes.
That's a crazy position.
Yeah.
That's a crazy job to have. Could you imagine just
He's about to put something together.
being
soon.
the biggest historian of hip hop and the Smithsonian? That's a fucking awesome job.
He's about to put something together.
I wish I knew that was a job as a kid.
down in DC. He's gonna put some show together.
I'm not qualified, but
I don't think he knows he's qualified or not. He's just pissed off.
he definitely is not qualified. He's a fucking psychopath. Shout out to Q-Tip.
Shout out to Zach once again. You can catch him on Twitter. It's ZAP Sports 508. What else? OTW Sports Radio as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep, you can catch him there.
And
Awful Pistons takes.
guess what, guys? I'm on Twitter now.
I saw you do.
About damn time.
This motherfucker.
No, I've been on for a while. I just don't do anything because I'm always running the Causeway Street one.
Okay.
So
There you go.
yeah. The reason why.
What's your handle?
The reason why I shout out, I'll tell you in a sec. The reason why I'm talking about it is because on the last CLNS video of us, the opening segment of the Causeway Street podcast, they put a Twitter handle that I didn't know I had. To
They knew
someone
it?
else. No, it was someone else. It was like at Joel Pavone 2.
Oh.
Nothing to do with
another
me.
Joel Pavone.
It's nothing to do with me.
Jeez.
They also call me Dean Dutra. What the fuck was that?
Yeah, I did see that. I wanted to make that a thing. The Dean. Oh, the Dean's here.
Dean.
That's a pretty sick nickname.
You know what?
Not a good time to debut it, but Dean Dutra,
Dean Dutra.
Dean Dutra, huh?
First I'm black, then I'm Dean.
which is a black name.
And I think it was Nick, too, that put that up there, right?
Yeah, it was.
All right, cool. Well, my actual Twitter handle now is at Joe
read off the paper.
underscore, because I don't use it.
Yeah, we should have been recording this.
Underscore L617. All right? It's the best I could do because
It's classy, bro.
apparently there's a bunch of Joel Pavones out there that I know about.
Not as good as Sean Dutra.
You know, if I put like Joel Pavone like 78, it would just look weird. So Joe underscore L617. All right?
All right.
Not that
there you
anybody,
go.
I don't know if anybody's going to tweet at me, whatever, but yeah. There it is.
just follow him, guys. That was pathetic. Just follow him on
Whatever.
Twitter.
It's all good. It's all good.
I don't know if
follow
anyone
me.
really cares, but I got Twitter now.
You don't have to. It's all good. You guys already follow, Sway over here at Joe underscore Sway.
Ooh, did you steal this fucking thing?
Kind
No,
of
I
did.
didn't. No, I didn't. It's just a phonetically way to say my name.
All right.
Yeah,
That's
so
all.
people don't say Joel. He gets
Yeah,
that a lot.
I get that.
All right.
And people say, "Oh," when I say, "Oh, I'm Joel," they're like, "Oh, spell it." I say Joel. Oh, so you spell it like Joel? No, I spell it like Joel. It's like Sean. They don't call you Dean or Sheen or Scene.
They do.
You know what helps though? Embiid.
Yeah.
No one
but
calls
no
him
one-
Joel Embiid. Everyone says Joel.
But you know.
So obviously he's
except
probably
for
made
except
a
for Mike Gorman.
point.
Mike Gorman still calls me Joel. I don't
He
know
says
why.
Joel.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, come on, Mike.
Watch it. Listen to him. Listen to him tonight.
well,
He'll say it more than once.
He's the only one.
Yeah.
Because I feel like
Really
everyone says Joel.
But I feel like that was getting popular with Joel Anthony because he used to play for the Heat.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was another Joel.
You got some Joels to live up to then, huh?
That's right.
All right.
Until next time, folks.
Malawa!
Peace.